Hello, you absolute legends. Welcome back to the channel. John here in Dad's Garage, and we're back again with the Smart 451. I bought the car 4 days ago now, and if you haven't been following the progress on the channel, well, we've got the back off and we've got the exhaust off. Why? Well, because it needs a whole new exhaust. If you're wondering about this contraption in the foreground, by the way, we'll have a chat about that in just a second. But in this video, well, we're going to be putting a new exhaust on the car. The new exhaust has arrived, the fitting kit has arrived. Somehow I bought it from the same place, but they put it in separate packages, so I've had to wait a couple of days. In fact, the exhaust was here yesterday. It came from Smart Mercedes of Newcastle. The exhaust is a whole thing, so you've got the back box, you've got the flexi, and it connects into the cat. A whopping price of $259.99 for an original back box. The one we took off the car, I think, is the genuine OEM one, so it's lasted 15 years. Hopefully, this new one lasts a lot longer. The fitting kit, which is the gasket and the bolts, has also been a whopping $23.99 for a gasket and some bolts. And then when you factor in twiddly bits and pieces, it's basically cost 300 quid. Hopefully, putting the exhaust back on the car is less of a saga than taking it off. If you haven't seen that video, all the nuts were corroded. We had to get the angle grinder out. We had to shout and swear and scream at it. And actually, when I first started that job with Dad, I did feel quite sorry for him getting involved in something so terrible. Let's talk about this quick, by the way, and we'll have a chat with Dad about it. That is Dad's homemade electrolysis chamber. Yeah, we've got the brakes we're looking at the moment. There is a braking issue, and he's got calipers and caliper carriers and all sorts in there. Strapped up to a battery and a charger, and, well, he's doing some sort of rust removal. It's very clever. I'll get Dad to explain it. In this video, then, we'll have a chat about the electrolysis, and we will fit a new exhaust to the Smart 451. Good afternoon, hello.
There then, mate.
How are you? You all right?
No, I'm not all right.
Well, what's going on?
Got rumbly-tumbly.
Oh, right, okay. It's too many sardines and beans.
Not enough sardines, that's what it is.
We're going to fit an exhaust to this Smart 451. What you got there?
I've got your fitting kit.
Oh, right, okay, yeah. Lovely. Let's have a look at the fitting kit. £23 worth of fitting kit
Talk
there.
about a blinking rip-off.
Yeah, absolutely.
Haven't got any at Poundland.
No, sadly not. So that's a gasket and some nuts.
No,
we'll
it's
have
not.
Bolts, gasket and some bolts, my
Top
apologies.
banana.
If you want a overpriced fitting kit, the official Smart number is A1321420080.
Take a mortgage
There's a QR
out.
code there. You can do some QR stuff.
Did a mortgage on it.
Yeah, but there it is. It's, you know, it's just one of these metallic-y, I suppose in the past there would be asbestos, wouldn't they, gaskets. And then a couple of bolts. Hey, just before we get into fitting an exhaust on this,
Yes, me old mate.
I want you to just talk us through some.
Oh, my electrolysis.
Well, I don't know what to call it.
It's
Experiment.
It's an experiment, yes,
Yeah.
it is.
You've got the car cleaning bucket rigged up to a battery.
Yeah.
Rigged up to a battery charger. Rigged up to some
Well, I
rebar poles, and then a caliper in there. What's that all about?
I saw something on the internet, and I thought, that's interesting. They, what's the word for it? Rust removal. I googled rust removal.
Yeah,
And
because
people say use citric acid, people say use brick acid. And I went to the brick acid supplying shop and they hadn't got any.
No
They
brick
wanted-
acids?
They wanted to sell me some patio cleaner.
No, that's no good.
Which is about the same thing. I says, I might as well use that.
Yeah. So we're going to paint the calipers. We're going to paint the drums at the back. We had lots of soul searching, and I did ask on the Twitter what colour should we paint them. People did suggest the calipers should be orange, and I thought that would be quite cool, but they would get quite dirty quite quickly. So we're going for gloss.
Middle of Lidl.
Black. We've been to the middle of Lidl because I'm too cheap to spend £8 on engine paint. Hopefully that does the job. If not, well, we can paint it with some VHT paint. But let's have a look then quickly at your electrolysis setup. Just talk us through it, because it is. You can see it's in there, and it's fizzing away nicely. There's a leaf in there now. Tell us about your rig then.
Well, the people on the internet do it a bit more carefully than this, but basically you're putting putting your caliper in there,
Oh, right, yeah, there's a caliper.
and
Oh, it's got rid of some rust, hasn't it? It's all flaking off.
you can see how the thick stuff's.
It's loosened it off, hasn't it? Obviously, it'll need an
Look at
angle
this,
grinder or a wire brush off.
It's clever, isn't it?
It's very clever, yeah.
But that's sort of had. I didn't leave it on all night, but it was all yesterday afternoon.
It's
Just-
sort of reverse
It's reverse
coating.
plating.
Reverse plating, that's it. And it's obviously going onto these rebar holes here, and it is actually, collecting on there. So just talk us through it. What have you done? You've just connected a
I
battery
just collared
charger.
a thing on the internet. So I've got a 12-volt battery. I've got my negative to that, which is on the rusty bit. The positive to there, and it's, as far as I can gather, it's the reverse of electroplating.
Is that safe?
I wouldn't have thought so in the slightest. But it's only washing soda.
I'm guessing it gives off some sort of gas.
Hydrogen, so it says.
Good job we've got the door open. Don't
How you notice I have not got a cigarette.
don't have a cigarette on today.
It's fizzing, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. I'm impressed, to be honest with you. Look at that fizzing away in there.
If you take
Coming
it
off.
off, watch, I'll just take it off. It's still fizzing.
It's got some residual current, I'm assuming. I'm impressed.
Watch, so it stopped fizzing.
Yeah. So you've connected that back up to there.
There she goes, fizzing like that.
Fizz, 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 fizz.
Anyway.
Good. I like that.
I think it's just as easy with an angle grinder, really, but I just wanted to try it.
Shall we move this out the way and put an exhaust on the smart car?
Me being me, I like doing these sort of things.
There you go. So if you fancy doing a little bit of
People clean
electrolysising.
tools and stuff, and it gets in all the nooks and
Oh,
crannies.
no, I'm impressed. Good. Could we dip the smart car in a bath and connect it
I've
up?
seen people with blooming baths like having your house with the suspension components.
Well,
in.
we're not going to be doing that, but let's move this out the way then. Let's put an exhaust on the smart. How are you feeling? Do you think it's going to be all right? It's going to be easier to put it on than take it off.
Yeah.
Right, let's move this out the way. You look like you're posing with your fish that you've just caught. How much does that weigh?
You see on the cart programmes when they're putting it back.
I'm having to do a tight shot, not to give away where the swim is. We're not giving away where you've caught your fish.
Caught this.
That's the new exhaust then. Let's just have a look at it. So there's obviously the external pipe. This is the product number 132.
It's a silent sandy or
4900015. This is where it's failed at the flexi, and actually if you look at the old exhaust, it's had a different flexi put on there.
little short bolt for there. I ain't got one of them.
Oh, I ain't got one of them yet.
I'll find one.
We'll sort that out. Are you confident it's going to be hopefully relatively easy to fit?
Definitely.
Good.
It's the proper thing, isn't it?
It is the proper thing, yeah. Should be no fettling required, really, hopefully.
It's the proper thing, dude.
What time scale are you saying? 20 minutes?
It all depends how many cups of tea we have.
Right, let's get the exhaust on it then. I could have got a pattern part. I could have got an aftermarket thing. They ranged anywhere between 150 and 200 quid without the fitting kit. My ethos was this. I'm going to be using the car. It's not a flipper. It's something that I could see that the old exhaust had lasted 15 years. Fingers crossed, the new exhaust will also last another 15 years. And for an extra sort of 60 quid, which I've saved by not trying to repair the old one in a roundabout way, an original one is on. I've had bad experiences with aftermarket exhausts in that they make your car sound a bit like a tank. Mrs. John Coupland's car has got an aftermarket stainless steel exhaust on, and well, I can hear her 3 roads away when she's on the way home. You certainly know when she's coming home. And I thought, well, this didn't really deserve to be chavtastic, even though it is bright orange. So that's why I've gone for a brand new original exhaust. We'll soon find out if it's any good. Brakes are still being worked on. As you heard, Dad's cleaning up the pad carrier. These are the old pads. They're not too bad, but while we're there, for the sake of 20 quid, I'm going to put new pads on the front. I know it's good practice to change the discs. We're not going to. The discs are fine. But the pads will be replaced. Hopefully that might solve the braking issue as well. What are you doing?
Get a bolt for that thingamajig.
Oh right, that's the thing that goes into the heat shield, isn't it?
That's right, mate.
Meant to sort of drill that
It's
out.
one of the hardest bits to get off.
Yeah, that's why you had your big Bertha angle grinder on.
That's true. Yeah. So I.
Oh, now what are you doing? Sparks.
Just chopped that bolt, didn't I, mate?
Looks good.
Looking good.
Get it on the car. You've put some no-nonsense spray adhesive on the gasket and on the end there. What's your reasoning for doing that?
I'm not going to be fighting against that now, am I? It's in where I want it, isn't it? I don't want no fighting. I had to fight it to get it off. I don't want to fight it to put it on, do I?
What's that you're putting on there? Oh, some silicone. Oh, you've put that on the ends there, so it slides onto the hangers. Good stuff.
Copper slip.
What are you copper slipping now? The bolts?
Yeah. Because this seems to corrode worse than your other one.
Yeah. Everything seems a little bit corroded. I am going to get some rust protection.
Everything's on the engine wise. Everything is mega corroded. Look at these heat shield bolts. There's nothing left.
It's not been treated very well from factory, has it?
Well, no, it's just maybe it gets hotter. Are you going to give us a lift for this, dude?
Blooming well am.
Blooming well am, Gromit.
Right.
So I'm guessing put your end on first. It will be tight.
That's it. Might need some wiggling. Well, that's in. There you are. Job's a good one.
Job's a fish.
Exhaust's on.
Some old bloke cleaned these threads up, so don't think it'd be that easy to get these bolts tight. Can you see how horrible that one is?
Yeah, it's in an awkward place, isn't it?
It is. It's a bit like putting the real back one beneath the slave cylinder on a mini clutch housing. There's a knack of getting your arm round back near the manifold to do it somehow.
So you're putting those bolts in finger tight. Are you struggling to get? Are you struggling to get in there?
I don't even see the bugger, let alone get my fingers to it. I'm just hoping it'll go in most of the way with my fingers. I'm not panicking yet, Gromit.
Good stuff.
You know that bar you showed me?
Yeah.
You passed me.
You want it? Ta-da!
Cheers, mate. See, in the old days, you used to make stuff. You didn't go to your snap-on van and buy a flipping crowbar. You made one.
What have you made that out of?
It's an 1100 tie bar. From the front of the subframe goes to the lower arms. Oh, we used to make crowbars out of them. We used to heat them up red hot after you'd formed them and then dip them in oil to make them strong. Enjoy the process of working on a lovely little smart car.
That's not what you were saying when you was taking the exhaust off.
No, I didn't enjoy it.
It really was a horrible task.
I didn't enjoy it in the slightest, mate. In fact, it was the worst thing I did that day. It was horrid, horrid, horrid.
The inspector had her MOT yesterday. Thankfully, all good news.
Did you mention that she can't jump so well now?
Well, she is 12 years old, says
Yeah.
the vet. She gave her a once over, made sure she was okay, checked her out, said there's no lumps and bumps,
Yeah.
gave her 2 injections and charged me 100 quid for the privilege.
Well worth every penny.
Absolutely. 10 mil combi
Yeah,
spanner
you know what, I
at
was
your service.
getting impatient and I've done that, now it's fell out.
Is that going on okay?
Yes, mate.
So you're putting the bolt in that connects, there's like a bracket, isn't there?
It's
to
just for that heat shield,
the heat
mate.
shield. What's that all about? Is it to stop it from whapping about, or?
It's just securing it, isn't it? But I've just got it in first because it's going to be troublesome to put it in afterwards, isn't it? Hey, we're nearly there. Nearly there, son. This arm needs to come off.
Is that the control arm?
That's what's in the way.
Well, we know how to take them off.
Yeah, like heck I am. Not if I can avoid it.
Would a ring ratchet spanner not do the job?
Can't even get a spanner in there, you weirdo.
Oh, right. Then no.
Aye, I can do that now. Aha!
Are you winning?
Really am, mate.
Nice.
Whereas one of our receptionists always used to ask, are you winning? I said, no, we're all f***ing losers here. This car needs a really good clean.
Oh.
It needs a forensic clean.
Oh, no.
What's up?
Well, the big hammer's come out.
Oh, it's only just used as a broggler. Now, this is the big hammer. This is the this is one step down from a sledgehammer.
I'm glad it's not being used to whack the car, anyway.
That is Big Bertha, that is. These are funny old mountains, aren't they? It's as though they're... How do I put it? Who's going to get your tape measure and measure across them with you? Top drawer of a service car, there's a tape measure.
Measure the mountings?
Just measure how far it's the top... If you lift the lid on the service cart, does that make any sense to you?
I've got it.
Can you see what I'm saying?
What are we measuring?
Well, that distance, I'll do this end, it's only approximate, from how far the ends of those...
38 inches.
We'll see if it's the same as the old bugger mount.
38 inches.
Well, we can't argue then, can we? I'm dead chuffed.
Is it tight?
Oh, nearly. She'll sound better now. If you can just go and start her up just for 30 seconds, because I want to recheck the bolts before it gets too hot.
Ready?
Yes, mate. That sounds a bit better.
That sounds better.
Yeah. Yeah, that's not it, mate. That'll do. Just to let things settle down. She did sound horrible before, didn't she?
It was rattly and horrible and blowy and bleh. No, I'm impressed.
I'm pleased. I think you'll be... How do I put this? For the amount of money saved by buying one of them cheapo ones, I honestly feel you've probably made a good decision.
What, to put a genuine one on?
Yeah.
Why? Yeah, why wouldn't you?
Because...
You know, the difference between them is anywhere between 100 and 60 quid.
Right.
So the cheapest one was, you know, let's say for example, £150.
Right.
And the most expensive pattern one was, let's say for example, £200.
Yeah.
So for the extra 60 to 100 quid, to put a genuine smart one on, that we know has lasted 15 years.
But the smart enthusiasts have told you them repair things are no good, aren't they?
Yeah, we could have spent 60 quid and put a repair flexi
Yeah, but then
on.
you've got to blooming weld it on.
Let's face it, how long would it have taken you to weld that on there and
You've
get
got
it
to
right?
take the damn thing off, ain't you?
Exactly.
Then if it doesn't fit again,
Whereas this,
you know, you still have to take this bit off to get a proper weld.
Yep.
Because somebody else had tried to repair it without doing a proper weld, and it didn't work, did it?
it's taken 20 minutes to put a new one on, whereas to weld it and fart about with the old one,
Yeah,
for
too
the
right.
sake of saving maybe 150 quid,
I don't think we've saved that much, are you?
it's worth doing. Well, especially if it failed.
There you go.
Job done. Put it back together.
Are you filming that?
Yeah,
Tool.
big hammer. Right, so the new exhaust is on the smart car. How was that as a job?
Better than taking it off.
It certainly was. As we've just discussed, hopefully the new one will do the job. Well, I'm going to start it up again, just so we can...
I'll start it.
Are you going to start
I'll
it
be
up?
the apprentice. I'll be the starting person. Just put your foot on the brake, right?
No. I'll be the listening person. Listen to this. That's better, isn't it?
Jolly well is, mate.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
Exhaust fitted. Well, there you have it then. New exhaust fitted to the Smart 451. To put it on has taken Dad 20-25 minutes, and it certainly wasn't as bad as taking the old one off, which took us 4 hours on and off. 300 quid it's cost, and at the time of me buying it, I was feeling really deflated about having to spend 300 quid on a new exhaust. Now it's on, now I've heard it, and now I've done my research. Actually, it was the right decision. What do you reckon? Before we put it all back together, loads more work coming up, including service items. So we're going to look at the spark plugs. There's 3 under the engine and 3 on the top. And we're going to give all this a blooming good clean
This has
before
only
we
got 3 plugs.
put it back together. 3 plugs! Not a 6 plug, so
No.
3 plugs, which are at the bottom.
No. But you can see them from the bottom. They're there. Up there.
Thank you. Lovely.
What's up?
Just me talking bollocks. If you're going to stand there, let me set the shot up for you standing there as well then.
That's why I told you you were talking bollocks. You don't want to tell the world you're talking bollocks, do you? I'll tell you now. It's no good telling you later, is it? Logging on and saying, John, you're talking bollocks. Dad.
Well, there you have it then. New exhaust fitted to the smart car. How did that go?
All right, wasn't it?
I think
Fairly straightforward,
yeah,
wasn't it?
your terminology was a piece of wee-wee. Which
No, it wasn't a piece of
It wasn't
wee.
a
No,
piece
that
of...
bolt
no,
wasn't easy to put in,
exactly.
that forward one.
It's taken 25 minutes to put the new exhaust on, and when we spent 4 hours taking it off, the old one.
Does that include taking all the plastic off?
Yeah.
Oh, well then.
But we had to get Big Bertha out and cut it off. I was feeling quite deflated, and actually when I spent 300 quid on the new one, I was a little bit
I'm going to cut it up.
miffed. What, the new one?
No, I'm not going to cut it
Let's not cut the new one up. No, that would be a bad idea. Anyway, now I've heard it, now I've done my research, and now I've slept on it. Good idea to put a brand new original exhaust on, in my opinion. Hopefully, it lasts another 15 years. Next port of call is to obviously put it back together, but before we do that, we're going to have a look at the engine, check out the engine service component parts, spark plugs. That's for another video. Good. That was one of the major jobs on this car, and it's done.
Can't be bad.
4 days later. If you've enjoyed the video, have a great...
He is crap. I don't know how he gets so many viewers.
If you've enjoyed the video, a thumbs up please. If you haven't already done so, if you haven't already subscribed, please do. It genuinely helps. We're on our way to 5,000. And what do you reckon? Comment down below. Could I have saved money, or should I have saved money and put a pattern part on, or have I gone the right way by putting a genuine piece on? 4 days that's taken, including delivery. I'm impressed. Thanks very much.
Took longer than that to get some coolant.
Till next time, take care. Thanks for watching. Goodbye. If you've enjoyed this video, I've selected a few more specially for you on this page. Click either side to select them now. And if you haven't already, please hit the subscribe button to always stay up to date with the channel.